Yo, salute everyone. Salute. Good Sunday evening. Knicks Real Talk. I'm in the building. And we ain't get popping with Emmanuel Quickly player review, man, for the year. We're going to break down Emmanuel Quickly's game, stats, highlights from the season, and all the things that he did to contribute to the Knicks this year. We're going to get it popping with that, man. I hope everybody had a great Sunday. Beautiful out here, man. They had a good Sunday in here. About to get it popping with Knicks Real Talk. Shaw Powell, hopefully him and KJ get in the building later, man. But I'm in here. It's your man, your host to Bine, man. You know what I do. Come here to break the stuff down and get into it, man. So, like I said, man, I hope everybody had a good Sunday, man. But let's get it, man. We here to talk about Emmanuel Quickly, man, for the 2021-2022 New York Knicks. Coming off a pretty decent season after a rough start in the first half of the season. So we're going to get into his maturation this year and what he means to the Knicks and break down all his stuff, man. But I'm glad to be in here with you fellas, ladies and gents. Salute to the chat. Salute to everybody out there, whether you streaming and watching the front, man. We're just going to talk Emmanuel Quickly and some other things going around the NBA. The playoffs is obviously here. A couple of good games today in the NBA playoffs, man. The Boston Celtics, the Milwaukee Bucks, Golden State, and Memphis. We get into that later as well if we choose to. But overall, man, I'm glad to be here with you guys, man. I'm ready to get in and get it popping. Talk about the young combo guard the Knicks got, man, and Emmanuel Quickly, man. Like I said, man, young man had a pretty decent coming out the second season. Had the pretty much same numbers he had in the beginning of his rookie year. Was up in rebounds. He was up in assists this year, probably one more each category. He didn't shoot too well from the from the field goal percent, but we'll break that down and everything, get into the stat chasing and all that. But other than that, man, I was excited about what I've seen from Emmanuel Quickly this year. I think he like I said, had a pretty rough start to the season, like a lot of other Knicks did. I guess trying to get acclimated with your new teammates and all that continuity and everything took more time than we expected. And because the way Tom Thibodeau rolled, it took time. But in the second half of the season, he started getting his footing in there. We've seen a little bit of nice point guard play from him. But I think he had a pretty good second half of the season. He really did. So I was happy about that. After like 15 points a game, 5 or 6 assists, man, 6 rebounds, things of that nature. So he was showing all around, had a couple of triple doubles at the end of the year. So that's good to see from the young man. Just taking another step forward to be part of this Knicks thing for the foreseeable future. But I like what I've seen from Emmanuel Quickly this year. I think he really showed me that he just taking another step. Going to the off season again, get your workout in. Get some more tools in your shed. I would say to your game this year and try to get better coming into your third season. Coming to training camp, looking to make some noise. I think he's taking these steps, and I think he have a pretty decent third year. Cause I think really was a good season for him to see that whether he hit the sophomore jinx. See if he got out of that in the first half, but he did come back in the second half of the season, like I said, and he showed me some things. And I was happy to see him and Obi Toppin get together. They got a good duel down there with each other. They feed off each other well, so he helped his game out a lot as well. So that goes to show you that not only did he accelerate his game a little bit on an offense standpoint from scoring and trying to be a playmaker, but he also helped another teammate get better, and that's Obi Toppin. He really helped Obi Toppin take more steps this year for himself as well. So that means that he's affecting the team in many ways. You know what I mean? I'm like he made Mitchell Robinson get a little bit more better positions in the offense with the alley-oops and everything, and Jericho Sims. So his playmaker was better than Alex Burks and all them other guys. That's why I got to give his flowers, because I think he played. I think he played that spot better than a lot of people this year. I really believe that. I think Immanuel Quickley played the point guard spot in New York, to me, the best this year. Alex Burks played a major role, but I think Quickley played a better role, and the way he started facilitating and doing other things on the court to help them guys get in position to score the ball, especially Mitchell Robinson and Obi Toppin, trying to put them guys in the best spot they could put them in, and to get their shots off. And that's what you want somebody to do with the offense. Put these guys in a good spot. You know where they like to shoot from. You know their tendencies. I think Immanuel Quickley did a good job of putting these guys in their spots this year, figuring out where they want to shoot the ball from, where they need the ball at. And he get into the lane at a decent clip. You know, the nice floater game was there. Seeing him work on a couple of things on the mid-range. So we get into his highlights from later on in the show. We break down his highlights and see some of the things that he did good on. And you can see his quickness. What I did like about this year, his hezzy was pretty nice this year. He hesitated pretty well this year. Like he'd come down with speed, slow it up, and take the hezzy and go to the basket. So I seen him do that a couple of times this year, and I was impressed with that in the second half. But he got a lot to bring to the Knicks, man. So let's hope that he come into training camp, take another step, man. Maybe get from 11 points to 13 or 15 if possible. Get the assist numbers up to maybe 5 or 6 a game. We can do that on a consistent basis. Get that up to a 5 or 6 assists a game, maybe 15 points, 3 or 4 rebounds. I think that'd be a good step for him, in his third year. And then, we can use that 15 points and 5 or 6 assists a game for sure. So, and his defense had got better and later on in the year. His defense was better this year. On the ball defense was decent. So I like that from what he did this year. He brought the defense up another level. Knicks was 11th in the league in defense this year, so he had a part to do with that. Granted, it wasn't last year's defense that we played, but Immanuel Quickley did play a good role. If you look at overall what he did, our defense was 11. He was a great part of him and Deuce McBride and Grimes and RJ, Mitchell Robinson, obviously. Then with some of our better defenders out there, and Burks did what he can do. He's above a little average or above whatever defender when he want to be. But I really think that Immanuel Quickley, him and RJ took a step this year on the defense end. I think their defense got better this year, and then that was good to see. Because like I said, at one time we was blowing 28-point leads, blowing 20-point leads, and all that stuff. And but I think he's one guy. Him and Deuce McBride, he stayed solid. They stayed solid on that, and Grimes as well. I want to give Miss Flowers too on the defense, and so salute to Immanuel Quickley for taking that step on a defense, and along with a little bit of his offense maturation. So going into next year, I'm excited about him, man. I really want to see what him and Obi gonna do. They could continue on from the end of this season and bring it into next season. Let it carry over and into next season. And I think you got a nice little duel there, whether they off the bench or wherever, starting, whatever the case may be. But I love that connection between the two guys, man. And let's hope that they here to stay. But salute to Immanuel Quickley. That's what it's about right now. It's about him. This is until we get into other things later. But he definitely took some steps this year, Immanuel Quickley. Salute to you, my brother, for working hard out there. And in the midst of a disappointing season, we were able to find some positives out of it. He was one of them for me. He definitely was a positive for me out of this season. We didn't have too many of them, but he definitely was one of them. He was a bright spot in the Knicks rotation this year, and I'm happy about that. So salute to Immanuel Quickley. But real quick, let's look at the brother numbers is, man, and let's just see where he at with his numbers this year. And he wasn't too bad at all from his number standpoint. It was about the same as last year. Like I said, with a point or two differential here or there. But he did make some strides forward, man. If you look at Immanuel Quickley numbers this year, he had he played 78 games. That's pretty impressive. You look down here where I got the arrow, he played 78 games, 23 minutes a game. 3.6 field goal attempts. He had 9 attempts. He made 3. We got to get a little better there. He shot around close to 40%. You need to get that up a little bit more as well. He only made 1.8, almost two 3-pointers out of 5 attempts. He shot around 34%. Love to see him get that up to maybe 38, 39, or at least 37, 38. I think that'd be a good step for him. 2 points. He only shot 44%. Wasn't bad, it wasn't bad, but it definitely could be better. I know that for sure. But other than that, man, he had almost, what was impressive to me, he had 3 rebounds a game, 3 assists a game, and he had scored 11 points a game. So I think that was a good look for Emmanuel Quickly this year to take a step with them numbers, man. Just to keep moving up until you get to where you need to go. So hopefully the numbers move up next year, and he probably wind up getting around 15, 14 to 15 a game. At least take those steps like RJ did. RJ went from 14 to 17 to 20. Maybe Emmanuel Quickly can take 11 point a step and get to 14 a game. Maybe get to five assists, 5 rebounds or 4 rebounds. If you get 14, 5, and 4 from Emmanuel Quickly, I think that's pretty good. That's better than a lot of point guards we had this year in the Knicks uniform. If you look at their numbers, I think Allen Burks he probably was around 12, 13. I'm not sure. I got to look at his stats. But I think if you can get Emmanuel Quickly around 14, 15 a game and move the assist numbers up to maybe 5 or 6, then you got that means he's scoring 15, but he assisted on 5 other opportunities. So that'll be good efficiency for him, man. So let's see how Emmanuel Quickly can get the numbers up a little bit more and just work on that 3-point percentage a little bit more. Work on that field goal percentage in the 2-point area. And I think you got something on your hand. I think the young man can play basketball, and I think he's a hungry young cat. I like he got the mentality to play in New York City. That's what I love about Emmanuel Quickly. I like the way he played basketball. He got passion, energy. He go at it. He go high. He stay solid. You don't see him get riled. You don't never see his attitude stay the same. He don't get too up, don't get too down. He's almost like RJ Barrett in a sense. You don't see him, just going out of norms. Whether he get a bad play or a good play, it seems like his demeanor stayed the same. But I like his energy, and I like that he loves the guard. You can tell he loved the guard, and when he played basketball, man. So that's good to see. And hopefully this man keep it going, because we need some big things out of him this year. If we're going to try to get better and get to another level, we need the man to quickly to step it up another year, man. So this year, come in there and get it popping again. I think he will. I think he'll move his game up to another level this year, and that make us a better team with the rest of the pieces that we have. So that's what it is with Emmanuel Quickly, man. I like what this young man brings to the table. Like I said, he did help Obi Toppin get easy buckets, find him in his spots. I really like that connection. He know where to find Obi with the 3-point shot now. Seems like at the end of the year, when you get in that lane, when that defense are collapsing on this young man, I know he do have the moxie to get that ball out to everybody else. And if you either get it out to them or he's shooting that floater, he driving to the basket more. So it's good to see, man. Let's hope that he can put a little girth on a little bit, muscle wise, take the bumps a little bit more. But at the end of the year, he really showed me some 2 triple doubles. That's awesome, man. That's regardless of who it's against, it's still in the NBA. And for him to see him able to get 2 triple doubles at the end of the year, and one of them like 30-point triple double, something that's impressive. So congratulations to Emmanuel Quickly for having a decent second half of the season. Now we just got to make sure, like everybody else, be consistent. We can do that in the first and the second half, which I think he will. I think this year he's going to come out even with a better understanding of the game. Like I said, sometimes when you're a worker, you learn as you go. You start in kindergarten, you move your way up. First grade, second grade, third grade. You get more knowledge, you get more experience. Well, that's just what Emmanuel Quickly and all these guys going through. They went through their kindergarten, their first grade, their second grade stage. That's where he at. Now he just got to, advance his game a little more and get a little bit more stronger mentally and physically. And I think he's going to be all right, man. So I'm excited about him being part of the Knicks thing next year. Coming back for his 3rd year. I'm looking to take another step. And for $2.7 million, you can't really go mad with that. I think he's worth his money. So and let's hope that he can continue going, man. But that's what it is with Emmanuel Quickly, man. I like what I see from this young man. I think he's gonna be all right in the Knicks uniform. I think he's gonna be good to go. So let's just keep it going, Emmanuel Quickly. And I'm gonna get into some of his highlights and things of that nature, man. We'll see some of his magnificent play and what he could do with a basketball, because sometimes we haven't seen the season whether it's over. We forgot some of the things that these young men were doing, but being that the season been over for us about 2 or 3 weeks now, we kind of forget what some of these guys was doing while the season was going on. So I'm gonna drop them Emmanuel Quickly highlight and just see some of the things that he was doing, see some of his skill set, and see and take a good look at it. The way the man played basketball. It's all on the offense end, obviously. Absolutely, cash out, true indeed. It's all on offense end, but he did make some steps. He did make some steps defensively as well. Like I said, I really like the way him and McBride hound that basketball. I think that was a part of the Knicks defense resurgence, because at the one time we were playing some bad defense. But I do think the backcourt play Emmanuel Quickly and Grimes and Deuce and them guys are RJ and them trying to play the best forwards out there, the best players in the game. Mitchell Robinson played 72 games this season, so that helped out our defense once he got in game shape. He knows our defense start getting better. We moved all the way up to 11th. You know what I mean? That's not bad. We could have been in the top 10. Maybe you have Grimes and when it went down early and guys like that. Our defense probably would have been even better. And I think IMMANUEL Quickley and them guys would have had a lot to do with it because they were pressuring the basketball pretty good. And, you know, and that I'm looking at the NBA playoffs right now, the way these guys are playing defense in the NBA playoffs right now, the Bucks and Celtics. I mean, you know, the way these guys are defending, man, let's hope these guys can get to a level like that where our whole team just come out and defend like that. The way they defending in the NBA playoffs right now is something to see. And we need our young horses to start playing like that. And I want to see Obi Toppin get a little bit more aggressive with his game. He started playing better defense at the end of the year. Block with that athleticism, he could block 2 shots a game easy. Just got to be in the right place and got to want an effort. Defense is about effort. He just put that effort in like he did at the end of the year. He can be 2-shot blocker a game for it, along with Mitchell Robinson, man, and things like that. So we'll see if Mitchell Robinson come back, obviously. But you know, but our defense in general, whether it's Noel, Sims, I think Obi Toppin could be a part of that. So with the young guys we got in the backcourt, they can make it happen. Hopefully, Cam Reddish get back in there. He can get back into a groove this year. And this year, he got something to prove. This is contract year for him. Maybe he come back out and he come into training camp with some improvement offensively and defensively, and put Quickley in there with them guys. I think he's gonna be good to go. So I'm looking forward to what this team gonna bring to the table this year and whatever move we make this summer. You know, depending on how we go, we don't have too much cap flexibility to be sign anybody, but we're gonna have to deal with the trade. The only 2 ways the Knicks can go basically is sign and trades, you know, relinquishing contract, not bringing nothing back, hopefully, but dead contracts and picks, and maybe they can go out there and get something in here. But other than that, I don't know, not sure how much they're going to be able to do with being in the cap situation. Not a bad cap situation, just not this year's cap situation. They don't have no flexibility in payment to next year. So this year they're going to have to do a lot of trading, not a lot of trading, but they're going to have to make some trades if they want to bring different players in here or you know, be able to get some contracts in. They got to try to relinquish some of these guys. So we'll see. But I think it still look good because no matter what happens this year, the next year moving forward, we're going to be pretty much in a good cap situation. Then, you know, then we do got to think about R.J. Barrett. We do got to think about, Cam Reddish if he's still going to be a Knick. You know, guys like that, because they be due contract extensions. And then in the next year, people like Quickley won't be too bad. If you look at Quickley's contract situation with the Knicks, he won't be too bad for us, man, because he got a couple more years on his deal, and I think he's gonna be all right. And Quickley's deal is right now, man. The Quickley is he's gonna be going into 2022-23 at $2,300,000. Not bad. Then he got a team option, a club option, and next year, 2023-2024, he got a team option for $4 million. I do think the Knicks will pick that up. I don't see why they wouldn't. I think he's earned that $4 million already. So they let him play out his rookie contract. Then after that, you'll see, you know, they got a qualifying offer for $6 million, a cap holder, $12 million in 2024 and 2025. So you will see how you're gonna roll with that. But in the meantime, I do think this year, next year, Quickley should be a Knick. So I think by then, I think the young man that really did some things, man, got better at his game and take it to another level. So if we do that, then I think we're gonna be fine. And salute to my man Keith Turner for coming in. Salute, Keith. But yeah, man, I do think that his contract is pretty decent. Yeah, I agree, Cash. I do as well. I think Tibbs understand. Like I said, at the end of the season, man, when I seen him quickly walk off the court, the way him and Tom Thibodeau was hugging there for a while, talking about the game, that showed me something. So I was happy to see that, man. To see that these players love that guy, regardless of what we think they love him. They for him, they back him 100%. So we got the players love him, then we should love him as well. But I think you're right, Cash. You hit that in the head. I think Tibbs got to let that man loose, man, and the organization got to really put these guys in a good spot. Because I do think his emergence this year is going to be pretty. I think that young man will get the 14 a game. I think he will get the 5 or 6 assists a game, and I do think he get maybe 3 or 4 rebounds. And he plays solid defense. I think that's pretty good for $2 million. You know what I mean? I really do. So, and I think he looking ready to take that step. Let's hope he does. And then he get ready to have a good year, man. I think I said he making Obi Toppin game better. And that's what I love about, like I said earlier, not only that his game is starting to ascend, but he's making Obi Toppin's game better. He's making Richard Robinson's game better. He was one of the better point guards we had on the Knicks this year. And numbers don't lie. You know what I mean? Especially the last half of the season. You know, him and Alex Burks was probably the only two that really getting it done like that. So I think that's a good thing for us moving forward, IMMANUEL Quickley. And let's see how it goes, man. Let's see how it goes in New York moving forward with this young man. And I know he's gonna be in the all-star. One thing I know about Emmanuel Quickley, he's a worker. Him and Obi Toppin and RJ and them guys, they workers, man. They in the gym. They there. And right, the NBA playoffs are going on right now. Them guys probably getting working. Or so they went on their vacation, got these first 2 or 3 weeks out, get on vacation. I know they're gonna be ready to get back on their grind because they're basketball players. And they determined basketball players. So that's a big thing for me, knowing that they determined. They know they eventually want to get some good bags moving forward. They want the bag moving forward. So they're going to order for them to get the bag moving forward down in their careers. They're going to have to go out there and play hard, play smart, play hard, put the numbers up, and play winning basketball. And then obviously they know they get their money, whether it's with the Knicks or it's not with the Knicks. But that's what a lot of basketball players want to come in and do. They want to try to extend their career and get better, so they can get better value off their skill and make more money. And I think Emmanuel Quickley is that type of dude. I really do believe you can see his maturation. If you didn't see the step forward, then I don't know what can I say from a Knicks fan standpoint. You didn't see much of you didn't even like some of Emmanuel Quickley game or what he do to some things you might like, but you cannot deny that his game did get better. From away from the sentimental part of it and the emotion part, Emmanuel Quickley got better playing basketball for the Knicks this year. He took a step. And I think the best is yet to come. So let's see how that goes, man. Hopefully come back in his third year and take another step. You know what I mean? It was kind of interesting with the Knicks team this year, from a shooting standpoint anyway. Not too many people shot the ball good on the Knicks, period. I mean, everybody was in the low 40%. So, he was one of 44%. So he did shoot a little better. But he started off the season pretty rough for him with shooting the basketball. And it's understandable. Evan Fournier, RJ, all of them, Randall. It seemed like nobody can get it popping at the beginning of the year. But unfortunately, after the All-Star break, we turned it around. Had a good little 8-3 record for a minute. Then, we went south. But, we seen some good positive things. He was one of them. So salute to Emmanuel Quickley for being one of them guys in a Knicks uniform this year that, got better. The master of the game of basketball a little more. For me this year, I'm definitely gonna give Emmanuel Quickley like a B+ this year, because the way he started and the way he finished. Started off kind of rough like everybody else, but he finished strong, and that's what you want to do. You want to finish strong. But I've seen a lot of improvements with him. So for me, I'm gonna give a young man a B+ this year, man. I think he really, really went out there and did his thing, and gonna get better at it. And I think he will. Yeah, facts. I agree. I agree 100%. I want to see him keep turning. I want to see RJ do that, and I also want to see him, not for the sake of being a dunker. I want him to get more. I want him to get more vertical, for when he can get more foul calls. It seems like he don't get the foul call, because I think when he get fouled, his ball is usually he's always getting fouled below the rim. It seems like RJ is never in the air. You get fouled. I think if he get a little bit more vertical. And get, when somebody going to block his shot, they blocking his arm, not his body, where the refs can't see it. So I would like to see RJ work on a little bit more. When you go into that basket, you're going up in the air, get some hops in there. You ain't got to dunk on nobody, but you got to be able to make the defenders reach high as they can, for the refs can see their arms when they're fouling you. And I think he seems like he does a lot of underhand layups more than over the top layups with a little bit of verticality to it. But I do agree. I like to see him with some more creativity as well. And that was a great thought right there, Keith. I want to see all the Knicks do that, man. Real talk, man. And I think that would be something to see. Yeah, true indeed. And I think he can definitely do that. Cash out, get a little bit more crafty and shifty with his dribble, and work on that mid-range game. It should be all just honing your skills, fine-tuning what you already know how to do good, and then implement something new into your game and work on it. So I think if we implement the things that you guys are talking about, and also get that mid-range game and work on that foul shooting, RJ going to be easy 23-24 game. I guarantee he'd be 23-24. If he come back into this year, last year, he improved that 3-point percentage for shooting, the field goal percentage shooting in the mid-range area around the key and all that. And hit them free throws. I think he's gonna be pretty good, man. He's gonna be a pretty tough out. Remember, RJ could have had a 50-point game this year, and that was because he missed the 4 free throws or something against in that game against Miami Heat. So it been he left a lot of points on the table this year, and hopefully that young man correct all that, just come out here and have a good fourth year and get your money. Because I think he would have had that this year. I think the only reason we down on RJ, not to the level that not saying we down on, but we thought he could have been better. Think about all the points RJ left off the table this year, from the free throw line And his 3-point percent went down this year compared to last year. Last year, the man shot close to 40%. This year, it was a little further down. So if he work on them couple of things, man, RJ would easily, because he go downhill so much, he would almost be one of them guys. Like, I'm not saying Giannis, but he don't have the athleticism and the height, but Giannis gets down that lane all the time. Like today, it's hard to stop a dude like that. RJ just got to find that in him, man, because he gets down that lane a lot. He just got to capitalize on that percentage-wise. The next thing I know, man, I don't think too many people are going to complain about RJ and what they think he's going to give him coming out of this year. I guarantee you, we're going to be like, okay, this man averaging 23, 24 a game because he done worked on all them things that he needed to improve on. And like I said, he left about 22 points a game this year off the table because of free throws. So y'all guys make some great points there with RJ Barrett, man. And and guys like him and Emmanuel Quickley, which is the show is about, Emmanuel Quickley just got to do the same thing. Work on your craft, get better at the things you already know how to do, improve them, and then bring some new creativity to your game. And for him, it's going to be continue getting better as a playmaker and knowing how to run a team, knowing how to put your players in the best position, knowing how to be the quarterback out there. Once Emmanuel Quickley start mastering how to be the quarterback out there and letting Tom Thibodeau run the plays through him, they got to find a way to make sure if Julius Randle here that Julius Randle had to understand that the ball runs through IQ. If IQ is the starting point guard for the Knicks, everything must run through IQ and then take it from there. And then and if not, then he might be that. See, this is a good thing about him being a combo guard. Let's say if they wind up getting Jalen Brunson hypothetically, and you can always put Quickley at the 2 because that's what he do anyway. So I don't have a problem. It'd be the kind having 2 pressure defense guys like Jalen Brunson and Emmanuel Quickley who can defend the pressure of the ball real well. And if we do keep Evan Fournier, then you move him to the back. You know what I mean? But I do think if you don't get a point guard, I think we should be Quickley's ball to run this year for the Knicks. If we do get a point guard, he still could play the 2. You know what I mean? So it'll be a good situation for the Knicks no matter what, no matter which way they go with that young man. Let's jump into some of Emmanuel Quickley, some of his highlights for the season. And just look at some of the things that the young man did. His skill set is pretty decent. I really like what he do out there with the basketball, man. He got better this year, and so just look at some of the things he can do with the basketball. You know what I mean? And obviously, I didn't get no defense in there, but this is pretty much all from his offense standpoint. What Emmanuel Quickley can do with the basketball, and let's just check out some of his highlights, man, and see some of the things he did this year, man. Emmanuel Quickley, 2021 to 2022 season highlights. Let's get it. Yo, salute. There you go, man. Emmanuel Quickley, 2021, 2022 highlights. That's what the man did this year, man. He had some good things he was proving on, man. We're going to get into that, finish getting into Emmanuel Quickley a little bit. Got my partner in crime with me here with me, KJ. What's up, brother?
Nick, Real Talk family. My man Devon, what's happening, man? We get into this Emmanuel Quickley, Real Talk. Let's talk about him.
Yeah, real talk, man. Real talk. First and foremost, I've been waiting to talk to my brother all week. I got to give our Giants some flowers on that draft, brother. New York Giants drafted well. I just wanted to get that. I want to see my brother. I want to talk to him about it.
Yeah.
Giants drafted well. Boy, I'm telling you, that 4 and 7, 57 pick was pretty awesome. Oh,
Let
man.
me tell you something.
Neil and Thibodeau. Oh my goodness, bro.
Let me tell you something. I know this is Nick Real Talk family. We mean the good brother Divine. It's Giant fans. Let me tell you something. The 5th and 7th pick. I mean, I'm feeling stoked. I'm feeling psyched about what the New York Giants is going to offer, because guess what? It's going to remind me of. It's going to remind me of what the New York Knicks may do. You know, we got the 5th and 7th pick. Now I'm thinking we can go for everything this year. If the Knicks do the same thing the Giants did with the picks, man. But I'm excited about those 2 picks, Divine. I think Neil is 6'8", 330 offensive lineman, and Thibodeau 6'5". He was expected to go number 1, but went number 5. I mean, to the Giants, we haven't had, and Michael Strahan is actually going to mentor this young man. Sky's the limit for the New York Giants. We got that much better than we were.
Yeah, I already know. Giant Real Talk, me and KJ doing the Giants season, we got it popping, man. So we get it popping down here. But I just want to say one thing. We get back into this Nick talk with Aziri, Dexter Lawrence, Williamson, and Thibodeau on that front 4. That's bananas, bro. Real talk. That's gonna be bananas. So I'm looking forward to that.
Hey, and also don't forget the guy they drafted, a bot, man. My man is a ball hawk.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of guys that, you know, even the wide receiver they talk about, Wan'Dale Robinson. The man he's nasty. So you take him and Tony. And the way they want to run that offense with the Giants this year, it's kind of like because the guy Wan'Dale Robinson, he's also a running back. He runs running back as a wide receiver. Right. They wanted the quick passes, get it out quick. Daniel Jones quicker, ball out faster. But let me tell you something. With Neil and Thomas on both ends, man, I'm ready for that season to start tomorrow.
Yeah, real talk. Yeah, that little bit of Giant talk, man. To break it up, I just want to get my brother. I know when he came in, we had to talk about it, but we talk about the Immanuel Quickley thing. So I'm Nick fan. We talk about the Immanuel Quickley thing, man. I think the man took a good step in at least in learning the NBA this year. He got better. Second half of the season, KJ, he was playing some all around good basketball. Like I said, I just broke down the videos, highlights of what he was doing this year. I like the young man's game, man, and I think going into this 3rd year, Immanuel Quickley can get from 11 points to 14 or 15, maybe from 3 assists to maybe 6, couple maybe 4 rebounds, playing good defense. Whether he's coming off the bench or he started, I think we got a good thing on our hand.
Yeah, it's one of those things. What was Immanuel Quickley when he first came in? He wasn't known for a point guard, running the point guard. He was wanted to be shooting guard. You know, at least that's what, you know, he was in college to Maxey. He was the off guard. But again, in college, he stepped it up and he started playing more. When he got in the league, you know, he was known as just a shooter. That's it. You know, now this guy's showing that he can handle point guard. In his high school years, he handled that ball through AAU basketball. He played the point guard position. So now, at the end of this year, second half of this year, he actually got better than he was the whole last year and some of this year. So, what is Immanuel Quickley to this team? That's to be determined. But now, here's the controversy part. You know, we have the young man Immanuel Quickley, but we're saying all these other guards. But we may have our point guard now, but we have other opportunities to get other guards here. So now, this is the dilemma. What do the Knicks do? I mean, I've loved the way these guys have played. You know, this year he played 78 games. Last year he played 64. You know, guys averaging 11.3, 11.4 points per game in 2 years. Going to year 3, man, sky's the limit because we haven't had a young guard like this in a long time here. So, hey, it's one of those things, Divine and Nick will talk. I don't know what direction we're going to go in. But if we say we're going to keep this whole team here, Immanuel Quickley has to start next year if we keep everything the way it is now.
Right. Fact. I agree with you 100%. If we keep the team the way it is, I'm 100% with you, KJ. Great point, brother. He should start. If this same team come out next year, Immanuel Quickley should be starting point guard for New York Knicks. Period. If they go bring somebody in, they go get a point. That's fine as well. I mean, it's a beautiful thing where he can play both positions anyway. So either way it go, he's a win-win on a $2.3 million contract. Next year they got a club option for $4 million. 4.1. They picked that up. You know what I mean? Let the man go to finish out his 4 years. and let's see what happens with free agency. But I do think that if you get to 15, we haven't had a point guard like you said in a long time in New York. After all the Moutiers, Franks, all these guys,
Jose Calderon,
everybody, he's been one of the better point guards that can play the point guard anyway. And think about that guy in a long time. Do you think about all the point guards who came in New York after Derrick Rose in 2018? You know, we had some a lot of hit and misses, a lot of misses more than hits. But I do think that he got a chance to be all right because the man he's a multi-dimensional score floor. He can score from the 3. He can score in the 2. He shoots a very good percentage from the foul line, and he's willing to go to the lane and take the bump. That's why KJ, if he put on about a 5 pounds of muscle, maybe a little bit more girth to take them hits even more. I think you're going to easily get, because good as he shoot the free throws. If he get to the free throw 5 times a game, and with the way he scored, so you know he probably 9 out of 10 he gonna knock down 4 out of 5 of them free throws.
Right.
I mean, and if you hit a couple of 3-pointers, he already at 10 points. You know what I mean? So I think that's going to be definitely achievable for him to go out there and do 14, 15, because that's the way he played basketball. Like I said, him and RJ downhill players, and when you go downhill, you're going to have a better chance of getting contact, getting more assists, and a lot of things. So I do think that makes it different for him.
Right, and you can tell he's a little timid. You know, because second-year guy. I mean, he's 21, 22 years old. You telling grown men what to do even though you're a point guard. All through his life, he's been the man at the point guard position. And now when you get someone a little older than you, like a Julius Randle and D Rose, you're a little timid your first couple of years in the NBA. I mean, I've never been in the NBA, but I can only imagine the NBA, like you said, Devon, it's a no boys allowed. So you up here as a young 18, 19, 20-year-old trying to tell Julius Randle, and now go ahead. So, but guess what? I'm saying that to say, at the end of the year, these last 30 games, we started to see IMMANUEL Quickley emerge as a starting point guard in the league. He started to tell people, no, I handle the ball, you point here. Let me set your man up. We're starting to see that now. So what I'm saying is his confidence started to grow, Devon and Nick Real Talk family. So again, like our brother Keith Turner saying, yeah, of course, we don't expect him to start next year. But if, say, things happen like last year, we're not able to make a trade. We can't bring people in that we want. You know what? We got to go with a guy that's been with us for the last 2 years, that's been in the Thibodeau system, and he's shown improvement every single year. I need to go with that guy. Because, again, I think his contract is up in 2024, I believe, Devon.
2024, yep.
Right. So, again, he's on the clock right now. Because, again, if we go another year when he's playing a little bit more minutes, not many minutes, and then we got to make another decision, and to say that year he does what Julius Randle did to Obi Toppin. We bring a point guard in, right? Now, IMMANUEL Quickley comes in the next year and has the same year Julius Randle did when Toppin was drafted. Then we're at another dilemma because we're like, man, this guy done did what he got to, and we getting him at a discount. But yet we done brung in Brunson for $18-20 million. But now we got a guy that can do this too. So you see what I'm saying, Devon? The dilemma that we could potentially be in. Now, I believe that the Knicks are going to do what the Knicks got to do. They have to make a big splash. They're going to go after a point guard, a disgruntled guard like a Donovan Mitchell, who probably wants out of Utah, and maybe the whole Brunson situation, or whatever other guy, or Murray, DeMonte Murray, like you always say from the Spurs. So it's a lot of guys that may want to come here, but it has to be the right person to fit this team mold right now.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a good thing about him being a combo guard as well, because it's a win-win. If they bring in a point guard, I still think Quickley can get the minutes he needed to show and prove that, because he could play the 2 and the 1, and so that he could be at the 2, right? Let's say hypothetically, if you move Evan Fournier to the bench, it's just a hypothetical, and you start IMMANUEL Quickley at the 2 with the point guard they bring in. But when it's time to substitute, you substitute the point guard, slide Quickley over, you know what I mean? Slide Quickley over to the 1 and bring in another 2 guard off the bench, or Fournier, you can work that way as well. So, your echo, my brother. Yeah. You bring in Then now you smooth slide quickly over to the one while Brunson or whoever it might be go out, and then you bring a two in there. So I think you could do it that way because I think he still gets the minutes. But I like to see if we don't make no major trade like you said, KJ. Throw him in at the one. He's earning that, man. He's earning that. And think about the team. The team, it ain't like the team not winning with him. The team was winning with Obi Toppin. I mean, not Manuel Quickly. And I think you got to give him that. And it's not so much give it to him. I think he's going to come in. Let me put it like this here. Manuel Quickly going to come in the training camp. He's going to make the Knicks think that he's going to have to be the point guard to beat. Because it's really not about giving anything. It's about earning it. I think when they go into training camp and them battles is up, I think Quickly gonna have to beat out whoever there, and if he beat out whoever's there, and it makes the team better. I don't care who you bring in, whoever they got to beat each other out. You know what I mean? And I think that if a man Quickly going to the third season and running that Knicks offense the way they need to run it and playing good on defense, setting these guys up, giving Obi Toppin easy buckets, making it easy for Mitchell Robinson if he here or whoever here. I do think that you got a good problem on your hand. And I think that's what it do. Salute, Chop, power it up, brother.
Sha,
Peace. Salute Divine, salute KJ. Let's get it.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you win, brother. Yeah. But yeah, we just going over the man quickly thing, man. Talking about the things we've seen with him this year, man. And I think he made a lot of good improvements this year, and I think he can get better. Shot Powell is all about going into the training camp, working on your game, and improving on the things you already know how to do, and bring a little bit more to the table that you know some new stuff. You put it all together, and I think you got to put a good person to roll with.
Yeah. Big up for IQ, man. At the beginning of the year this year, we always notice him as being a guard. We put him located him as being a guard if he could fill in for the one or if he could be that shooting guard. And at times in this season, we've seen him play as a shooting guard and also play the point guard position. More towards the end of this year's season, man, I believe that Emmanuel has put himself into position of being a starting point guard in this league. And with the things that he has accomplished without having D Rose this year, going through a little bit of adversity in the beginning of the year, with really not having D Rose to back him up and lead him in the right direction, he has come out towards the end of the year after the All-Star break, and he has propelled himself into being what I believe, like you both said, if we're not going out to get one of these quote unquote big fish type of guys, the Murrays and players like in that caliber, to be someone that we can have starting next year as our point guard. And I believe that wholeheartedly that he's going to go in this offseason, he's going to go and perfect his craft. I believe he is going to probably put on an extra 5 or 7 pounds, and he's going to fill out some of those shoulder muscles that he has. So if you look at him, his shoulders sit up right. And I think he's going to be something to watch out for. And if we don't really go out to go and get a real big type of point guard, I believe this is the guy that we should start the next season with as being a point guard.
Yeah, great points, man, 100%. I think, like I said, it's his job. I think, like I was saying, in the end of the season, it's his job to lose, KJ. Right now, based on where we at the Knicks team, because we haven't brought in nobody, haven't let nobody go. As we presently constructed right now, it's Emmanuel's complete job to lose to me going into the off season and going into next season, going into the training camp. If we don't bring nobody out, I think he's gonna have the leg up. I just think that they're gonna have to realize what he could do. You know what I mean? And they're gonna be like, okay, you know what? Maybe with a healthy Derrick Rose coming back, he could back up Emmanuel quickly. With a healthy Derrick Rose, he could back him up. Or he can continue to go to the 2 route and have Deuce McBride. It all depends what Deuce McBride doing the all season. If Deuce McBride going to all season, he said, I earned that backup point guard for the New York Knicks. Then you know what? And I still wouldn't have a problem with 2 guys like McBride and quickly backing up one star. I would not have a problem with that in New York, because if you got depending on which way we going and how we construct it, I don't have a problem with that backcourt. Deuce McBride and this cat. Can get a popping, man. Salute to my brothers, CT, man, piece of buzzing. Salute CT, man. I hope all is well, man. Y'all brother go down there, brother doing a great job down there. Got this thing popping down there, man. Y'all make sure y'all go support the brother, man. Real talk. He in there, man. I think that if you can go into the season with, if you had to start quickly and Deuce McBride as a backup, I'm perfectly cool with that. You know what I mean? It didn't whether you do if you rolling with Grimes and Fournier, whether one switch and one don't. I perfectly would like to see Grimes come in and have Fournier come to the backup too. But if you roll in New York with those 4 guards next year, if we don't make no major changes, you're going with Quickly Deuce, Grimes and Fournier Grimes. I'm all right with that 4. You know what I mean? But I prefer to move on for him. But if he's here, I think it's still a win-win no matter what with those 4 guards, and that's not even counting Derrick Rose. We all depend what we do with Derrick Rose, and that's another elephant in the room. KJ is we still got Derrick Rose here, so they might have to keep Quickly at the 2, and then D Rose and McBride do it, or they're gonna have to move somebody to give that. It's gonna be interesting, man. With the draft, we don't know which way we're going in the draft right now. But if we do bring in Brunson, I think you quickly can still get the minutes that he need to get, because I think he can play both sides. He can play the combo guard. He can play the 1 and the 2. Like I said, you substitute 1 when Brunson go out, slide Quickly over. That's all. And that way you get more minutes at the 2 and the 1, because he's a combo dude. So use him as a combo. I think it'd be good to go.
So based on the information we know out there, like we know the Knicks is going to go for a point guard. They maybe go big fish hunting. They may not go big fish hunting, right? D Rose, you make a great point. D Rose is still on this team. So the question is, if we're the coaching or the coaching staff right now, and we know that Quickly has the potential to be our starting point guard, and we've seen the man play for the last 2 years in this league in the NBA with the New York Knicks. What is the one thing that you telling Immanuel Quickly that he has to work on this year in his game based on your 2 years that he needs to really work on to be the starting point guard of New York Knicks, Devon and Shaw?
I think right now he's kind of going in the direction I want to see. The playmaking obviously going to be the big part. The best part going to be the playmaking. If he can get a little bit more comfortable being a playmaker, and he dribbled the ball a lot, but I don't have a problem with him keeping his dribble. Don't over dribble. Once he kind of get the over dribbling down out the way, you're supposed to maintain your dribble. That's what point guards do. But when you maintain your dribble, now I do love that about him. When he go down that lane, if you don't got something, he'll bring that ball back out and start the offense again. That's what point guard's supposed to do. So I do want to see that he work on that, and get his field goal percentage up more from the 3-point line. Other than that, I'm pretty good with him, quickly. I think the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah, I believe that he has small tweaks that he really has to help elevate his game. As you've seen him towards the end of the year, at the beginning of the year, he would dribble more on the head down, watching where he dribbles the ball and stuff like that. But towards the end of the year, man, he kept his eyes up at all times. He dribbled with his eyes up, his crossover between his legs and stuff. His eyes is up, scouting and looking around on the court and stuff like that. So one or two. So he elevated his game from that short teardrop that he used to do to going up, laying the ball up a little bit more, or putting it a little bit higher with the arc in his shot. A little tweaks, maybe a mid-range game. Maybe a mid-range game. I think his assists towards the end of the season, he surely found a lot of people out there, and I think with him dribbling with his head up, maybe hitting that short jump shot would help him a little bit. And aside from that, man, I really think the guy's going to come back next year and master some of his craft, man. Every year he has tried to do better on the court. His percentages may have fluctuated a little bit, but he towards the end of this season, man, he really started to put himself as being a point guard. And as we all remember, I don't know, but in the summer league, it seemed to me like they were trying to groom him to be the point guard anyway. The summer league, he was like that point guard. Thibodeau was there. After every game, he would come out to him and discuss the little things on the court and stuff like that. So I think they were trying to groom him into that role. He fell a little short in the beginning of the year. And as he got more time on the court, more playing time with Fournier, especially with RJ, and undoubtedly with Obi, he projected this game to be a little bit more as that point guard, like I said earlier. So I just think that he just needs to come out and get a little short jump shot, instead of always have to drive the ball to the hole or take that 35-foot jump shot or something like that from the three. If he could develop that mid-range game and stuff like that, I can see him being one of the elite point guards in the league, man. He's quick, he's fast, he drives to the hole strong. He has good eye coordination with guys without letting people know where he's directing the pass. So short jump shot. He already has the defense. He plays pretty good defense, and he's not a smaller guard. He's more like a 6'3" type of guard. So he's not small. His arms is long. He has great defense. So a short jump shot and maybe a little less, like you say, a little less dribbling around and making a more pronounced move to either take the shot or pass it off to someone. I think that'll elevate his game a lot.
Yes, and I see the same thing you guys see. Year one he did a lot of floaters, and I think that really hurt his game. The floaters, even though they were going in. I like to see him take it to the ball hole more. Take it to the ball, cup the ball, do a layup. He can penetrate on anybody. But another thing, this is what I'm telling him to do. I'm telling him 3 names. Look at Dennis Scott. Go look at tape on Reggie Miller, right? Go look at those 2 guys alone and Steph Curry. See how they move without the ball to get open. Because this is the type of offense that we need. Like when he's in the game with Obi Toppin, it's a well-rounded game. He can pass the ball. But we need accurate to pass and move without the ball. And if he does those things, his handle, his defense is there. And his shot has to get a little bit more consistent. If he does those things, this guy could be the starting point guard of New York Knicks. Young, fresh legs, and guess what? We save a lot of money with him for right now. So by the time we got to re him up, we can already extend it. We'll have some money in the bank. But guys, I'm here to tell you, if it don't work out, if all else fails,
he ain't gonna let the Russell Westbrook go.
Hey, I'm gonna leave it up here for you all again, all year long. Let me tell you something. If this whole thing does not work out, I am here to tell you, and I'm gonna put this into the atmosphere. Russell Westbrook will be our starting point guard in the 2022-2023 season. Devon, you said you could book it.
Yeah, I heard it. He gonna die on that hill, so it's all good.
Keep saying it.
Yeah, but hey, one thing, and real quick about Immanuel Quickley as well. You know what people underestimate about him? By I say for the starting point guard, and I think this is my man's pet peeve. He right here on the panel with Shaw Powell. What did Shaw Powell say the Knicks? With number one thing Shaw Powell talked about all season long with the Knicks. Pace.
Running that pace.
Pace. Immanuel Quickley brings pace to the Knicks. We need that half-court stagnant offense that when people kind of know what we're gonna do, get the ball around and get the ball to RJ, move out the way. Immanuel Quickley brings pace to the Knicks. Extra easy points. You know what I mean? He brings easy points. And you have to put that in. You have to put that out there and make that a consideration because I do believe he does that for the Knicks better than anybody. Him and Obi Toppin changes the game of pace for the Knicks, and I think that's important to note that. So because when we want to get up and down the floor, we got somebody who can put that ball down there, and he got good court awareness. His court awareness was well. He literally could put that ball, grab the rebound. When he look up, he already looking at them outlets. You know what I mean? Shout out to KJ. He already looking at that. He already looking downhill. He not getting the ball and then pause it and start just take your time dribbling. Soon that ball get in Immanuel Quickley's hand, he's looking to push the pace. He's looking to see if Obi out there. If you see an RJ them sprinted up the court or whatever. You know what I mean? So you got to put that in the equation why that's significant to him playing point guard for the Knicks because he gives us easy buckets. And I think that we got to keep in mind. So going to the training camp, I know Tom Thibodeau like, damn, we just scored three fast breaks in the first quarter. We don't do that a lot, or whatever the case may be. So I think it's gonna be important about that, man. But let's look forward to what he's gonna do to help these guys get better. Like I said, I think him and Obi Toppin, that's my new John Stockton Karl Malone combination. You know what I mean? That's just my preference because I do think that if you look around the league, this positionless basketball, we're not in the league, we're not in the NBA no more. Where's is pass first point guard, or but he could do both. I mean, regardless of what it is, you can't deny his numbers in the second half of the season. They are there. You know what I mean? The only way he don't beat a starting point guard if the Knicks bring somebody in. But like I said, if you go into the training camp with the team we got right now, Shot Powers, it's going to be on. I think Quickly was the best point guard we had this year, believe it or not. Look at everybody's numbers. Look at everybody's numbers on the Knicks this year. Emmanuel Cookie went the point guard position better than everybody on the Knicks this year. Better than Kimber, better than Alex Burks to a degree, because Alex Burks was more of a shoot first dude. The team ran at a faster pace with Emmanuel Quickly. He was grabbing rebounds. He was playmaking. Mitch got more looks. You know what I mean? All these guys got more looks when Emmanuel Quickly was on the floor. So that, that got to count for something. He was literally the best point guard we had in the second half of the season. So you got to say, if this team come back the way it's presently constructed, like I said, Shot Powers, he got to be the one fighting for that starting point guard who on that team better than him right now, basically.
I mean, if we really sit back and pay attention to how Emmanuel Quickly ran the offense at the second half of the year, we played better. We played better. We had a better offense with him on the court. We had a better offense, and a lot of people don't take into consideration when the fourth quarter comes into play. One of the main focuses on the court, from what I noticed, is IQ being on the court in the fourth quarter, and he's been on the court producing. He's been out there, executing the offense, making the good pass, going down to grab rebounds. He has elevated his game, and he's only this is only his second year into the year, going into his third year. I believe if we don't go out and make a big trade. And another thing, right now we're talking about getting Brunson, and we're thinking about $20 million. The way this guy's playing in the playoffs right now, either Mavericks are not going to let him go, or he's going to be looking at about $25 million. So right. he did elevated that 16 to $20 million. It is now $22 to $25 million for this guy, and we're not the only suitors out there looking for him. We may have a lot of connections with this guy, and the background from him and Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau and go on and so forth and stuff like that. But now this guy's contract is not going to be $18 million. He's not going to come to the Knicks for $18 million. If he comes to the Knicks, he's going to probably be one of the highest paid Knicks on the team, and he's going to be probably looking for about $22 to $25 million. So we have to also take that into consideration. I believe we run the course. We try to lessen our load with a couple of players, and if we do make a move, I'm not opposed to what you say, KJ. If we move in to go get Westbrook, we will evidently move 3 players off the roster to bring Westbrook here. And I could see Westbrook being the starting point guard and IQ following him up in the second unit. That could also elevate and help his game, because let's take this in consideration. Westbrook, yeah, he had a bum year over there in the Lakers, but let it be known, Westbrook retires. He's going in first round. He is one of those type players. He may not have a ring. He may not have done a couple of things, but Westbrook is a premier point guard in the league. He has done one thing. I think it was he had played almost a triple double the whole one season almost. So so let's not take that out of perspective too. I believe if we don't go out and make a big move or something like that, I think IQ could come here and really push the pace on this team. And we may not have to look for a point guard, because if we look to bring in a point guard this year, let me say this again, if we look to bring in Brunson, if we think that Donovan Mitchell is going to come here, if we go out to get DeAndre Murray or any one of these bigger elite point guards, Derrick Rose is out of here. Derrick Rose is not going to be here. Derrick Rose has to be one reason being that the money that Derrick Rose is being paid will have to be taken away to pay one of these guys that we're going to bring in here. So if we go out looking for a big time point guard, Derrick Rose will not be here next year. Let aside from the Burkses, the Kembas, the Noels. If we bring in another point guard, Derrick Rose will, I believe, will not be here next year.
Yep. And let me ask you in the chat, everybody in the chat, salute to my man Jarvis. Jarvis, salute. Thanks for coming in, my brother. Real talk. Appreciate you. You guys tell me what you don't like about why you don't think why do you not think Quickley could be qualified to be a point guard for the New York Knicks? Tell me why you don't think he's qualified to be one. Tell me, is it because he's young? Is it because he only did that? He only played his second year last year. He got to go into his third year. What makes Quickley not able to handle the point guard situation for the New York Knicks? Because from what I see, that's from my eyes watching 82 games, man who Quickley plays defense. He got offense. He know how to facilitate. Is it because y'all looking at him compared to the creme de la creme point guards, or what makes you guys think that he's not qualified to be a point guard for the New York Knicks? Because a man who Quickley could play basketball. I mean, our eyes don't lie. The numbers don't lie. Your eyes don't lie. I seen IQ had some really good games for the Knicks that if he wasn't in there, it might have been a different from the way we won the game that night. Real talk. I mean, and if we have to go back and look at 82 games, so be it. I encourage everybody to do that because I think we are really underestimating the way he plays when he's on the floor. He keeps that team from being stagnant. You know what I mean? He breaks down the defense. He gets in the lane. That's what we want a point guard to do all our life for the last 10, 20 years. We needed a point guard who could break it down, get down the lane, and give the Knicks an opportunity to either get a layup, kick out for a three-pointer, alley-oop over the top, or just whatever. He creates that. You know what I mean? And I think that we got to keep that in mind. And I think he got something going on with him. He's good. He's a worker. He's in the gym. He's constantly trying to get better. And granted, guys, everybody don't come to the league and they don't become here to be superstars. They got to work to get there. But IQ don't. He got ice in the veins. He's not scared of nothing. KJ. When I see that man playing the Garden, IQ is not scared of nothing. He's one of the few Knicks who got that in him. You know what I mean? And he got that swag about him. You know what I mean? He got a swag when he shoot that three ball. He got his thing going on. He got that in him, and I like that about him. So I do think that we have to see going into the third year. Like I said, nobody's giving IQ anything. He got to go in a training camp and take it from somebody, or somebody got to take it from him because it's all about competition. So I do think that going in a training camp, if IQ coming to training camp with a certain mentality, you're going to have to beat him for that. And I think that's the way basketball is, KJ. That's the way it's supposed to be.
And you know what, guys, I talked about this before we even talk about who's starting point guard, who's this, who that, May 17th, we 16 days away from probably one of the biggest Knicks offseason. It's all about the lottery number, too.
Facts. Where
that ball going to end up at right now, because let me tell you something. We're still paying Luka Valdoza right now. And, he's on contract in 2023. We paid him 1.5 this year and 3.1 this year. So let's not forget about him. And we got Rokas still. So it's a lot of people that's still out there. So to me, it's just the lottery is big right now, guys. And whatever that number ends up at is going to depend on what the New York Knicks is going to do right now. So it's that cap hole. We got no money right now. Mm-hmm. Where's the money? Nick Real Talk is going to keep saying this. We could keep talking about point guards, but again, something has to happen. Where's the money going to come from? If we sign one of these guys, where are we getting the money from? So someone is going. We just don't know who. Again, like I know a lot of us, we want to see the young team play. And then let me tell you something. If we put a young team right now out there, we put a IQ, a Karen Reddish, a RJ Barrett, a Mitchell Robinson, and Obi Toppin out there, and they get in the playoffs. I mean, can this team compete in the playoffs? Look at these young teams that's in the playoffs now, like a Memphis Grizzlies right now, or even a Boston Celtics. Can they compete out there with those upper echelon teams in a half-court series? And the answer is no, they can't. We like what we see out there, but in a 4-game set, no, we can't. So my thing is, what players can we bring in to mix and match and go consistent throughout the whole year? That's where I'm at on this Knicks team. Now, I am opposed to building this team up. We're going to build it up and wait. Let's save money, but I don't want to spend $22 million on a point guard like Brunson when we got a lot of point guards that the New York Knicks have right now that where Brunson can do the same thing. Brunson right now is just hot. He can do it. He come here, he might not do the same things over and over he's doing in Dallas. You can get hot and get going, but I haven't seen Brunson. This is the first year I've been seeing his name pop up like that. I need to see more and more. I got IQ at discount. I'm taking IQ, so I just don't know, fellas, where we at right now. It can go this way, this way. That's why I said, to me, this is probably one of the biggest Knicks offseason in Knicks history. Because, and the reason I'm saying history is because someone named the last time we had this much young talent in New York Knicks history. I'll sit back and I'll wait all stream. But until somebody names that for me, I'm going to say in Knicks history, because there's so many different storylines to go. What are we doing with Obi Toppin? What are we doing with Julius Randle? What are we doing with my man Evan Fournier? What are we doing with Mitchell Robinson? Who we bringing in? So that's where I'm at, fellas, in Knicks Real Talk family.
Let me just highlight a couple of people in the chat. I think 19 Khan said, let me say this here. He might have got triple doubles against the guys in the NBA is guys in the NBA. Rudy Machimura he's not a G leaguer. Emmanuel Quickley, since the All-Star break, not at the end of the season, guys, since the All-Star break was averaging around 15 a game. He got to pick his game up at the end of the season. Emmanuel Quickley coming after the All-Star break really started doing improvement. It wasn't at the end of the season when the season was over. Emmanuel Quickley was doing this since the second half of the season. You know what I mean? And then once we kind of wasn't in a lot of teams figured they wasn't in the playing anymore. Obviously, the last 4 or 5 games they threw this out there and all that. But that I disagree with that. Emmanuel Quickley, since coming out the All-Star break, his numbers been there. They've been there. You know what I mean? So that says something. To me, you want guys like that. Here's why. I didn't start off good. I didn't lose my confidence. My confidence didn't waver. I didn't fold and have a bad season. No, I went in the All-Star break, got my mind right. I came back and showed and proved. You want guys on your team like that. You don't want guys who have a bad season at the beginning of the first half of the season and then let it carry over to the second half. Emmanuel Quickley did not do that. That means he's a driven dude. He's battle tested when it comes to his how would I say, his ability to respond. Okay, Shot Powers. Like, in other words, he got the ability to bounce back. You know how sometimes a player might have a 20-point game and the next thing you know he have a 2-point game. Does he have the ability to bounce back and throw that 2-point game away and come out the next game and get back to 18 or 20? That's how his season was. You know what I mean? So to me, I think that was just show improvement. You know what I mean? I think he demand, and I want guys with me who, if they have a bad night, they throw it and block it away, because you know what? That's what happens when you get in the playoffs. You have a bad night, you got another game coming up, and you got to be able to rebound and get back at it, KJ, Shot Powers, get back at it and get up off the canvas. Somebody knock you down and get back up and come back in and get it popping. And I think I like that about Emmanuel Quickley this year. He did do that for the Knicks. So not saying that he's the starting point guard, but as this team is probably constructed right now, you go into the season, it's going to be about competition, and basically what it boils down to. It's going to be about competition. Whether we want to start or not, or we don't want to start, that's not going to dictate. Only person going to dictate where he's starting at in that team is Emmanuel Quickley. He's going to dictate to Tom Thibodeau, I need to be the starting point guard right now because I think I'm the best one you got. That's what he got it. That's what him and Tom Thibodeau got to figure it out. We can assume that he's going to start. He's not going to start. Or we don't think he's good, or we might think he's that good. We just as fans just giving us our honest opinion. But when it comes down to the get down, it's all going to be all on the man to quickly show and prove that he's supposed to be where he's supposed to be at. Okay, none of us on this panel dictate what he's going to do. Not me, not you, not the chat. It's going to dictate how Emmanuel Quickley, the rest of his basketball career, that's going to be on him. And if he come in there and show improvement, then no matter what we may think, it don't matter. You know what I mean? I think he's gonna go out there and get it popping. But I like what I see Emmanuel Quickley, man. I really do. We all been watching basketball for years, and I know we hard on our ball players. And like I said, some players take that because they not what we want to be. Don't mean they not gonna get there. He might not be what we want to be, but that don't mean he's not gonna get there. It might take a little longer in the process. But remember, he came into the league just like all the other rookies that year. No training camp, COVID, no this, no that. Right. No ability to
Right.
your ability to harness your game and get better. Them cats came into the league and they didn't have an opportunity. They almost blew a blue. That's why they had to go to some league a second year or whatever because of that situation. So now I think he did. I think him and Obi and all these rookies in that year in the NBA was like a year behind because of what they had to go through because of COVID. So let's see what Emmanuel quickly do. Emmanuel quickly go in there and let's get it popping. You know what I mean? And I'm happy. If he not the starting point guard, so be it. And if he either way I go, I'm happy. As long as he on the Knicks, that's what it boiled down for me, guys. Long as Emmanuel Quickly in the next uniform for next year, making $2 million with the talent that he got, I'm good. I think he's good to go. So let's see how that goes, Shot Powell. I do think that we got somebody there that can stay here. And he better than Frank. He better than Dotson. He better than all them dudes. Think about it. He better than Knox. He better than all them dudes. You can't debate that. He is the better than Knox, Frank, all them cat Dotson, Cornets, all these dudes, man. Quickly, he's better than them. So I think we got a good thing on our hands, Shop House.
I think this too. The way he as we talk about after the All-Star break of last season and stuff, how he controlled the game. Another thing that I liked about IQ, what I want to see this year is now IQ has been playing with RJ for 2 years, let alone how long RJ played. But he's played with RJ, he's played with Obi, he's played with Mitch, he's played with Randall. These are the guys that are still here on the crew. And I think the rapport that IQ will have with these guys will be better next year. I think next year he'll be more of a passive point guard. I think he'll be more looking to elevate his game. He's done things to make his games change in the years that he's been here. His rebounding, it came from him having 1.1 rebound, 2.2 rebounds, 1.2 to 1.8 rebounds last year, so almost 5 rebounds a game. He came from having 1.2 assists to almost having 4.8, almost 5 assists a game. So the more time that this guy gets, the more time that he gets on the court, knowing the opponents that he's going to play now that he's been in the league for a while, these guys that the point guards on offense on the other team, he knows these guys a little bit better. He can watch tapes to figure out how he's going to play these guys a little better. He has the team really surrounded him because a lot of people look to him to push the pace. When he gets on the court, he's not Burks. He gets on the court, he wants to grab that rebound. And if you watch the games, man, the guy crashes the board, he grabs the rebound, he grabs the rebound and he runs the ball up the court. And majority of the time, the person that you see with him is Obi Toppin. So if he could get that, and RJ, so if he could get these group of young guys with him to run with him and stuff like that, I think we would see a whole different team next year. Now, I'm not opposed to getting Brunson, but that paycheck for Brunson has went up.
Yeah.
And I mean, that paycheck for Brunson has went up. I'm not opposed looking for DeAndre Murray. There's some trade rumors out there where I don't think that they're going to move him, but there's some rumors out there that we can probably put a couple of picks. We got, all these first round picks and stuff like that to, project to give him a couple of picks and, 1 or 2 of the younger players to go to San Antonio. It is some moves out there that we can make, but if we're going to stay pat, if we're going to stay with what we have right now, if we don't move on from Julius Randle or Evan Fournier, it's the biggest thing right now is the draft. That draft pick this year is going to be something that we have to really look out for. Higher draft pick, other than 11, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9 or something like that. We have a chance to take that pick and package it with a Julius Randle and move him on, or package that first round pick and and make a trade with Fournier and somebody else and 2 more first-round picks. There's so many options that the Knicks have this year that we haven't had in prior years because of what this front office. We talk about the front office a lot, about what they have done and what was going on. We have first-round picks for the next 4 or 5 years. We have about 17 second-round picks from here to 2026. We have enough draft capital right now. We don't have cap space, but our draft capital right now could get us somebody, but we will have to relinquish some of these guys that we have on the team. So it's going to be a fun off season once May 17th get here in a couple of weeks to see where we're going to be ranked at in the draft, and projecting who we're going to pick up and stuff like that. This is going to be one of the biggest years that I've seen in a long time because we have the fan base that are split down the middle, split hairs. Do we want to run with IQ? Do we want to go out here and get Brunson or some other name point guard and stuff like that? Are we going to move on from Julius Randle? Is Fournier going to still be here? Are we going to move Burks, Noel, Kemba? There's so many things that we got going on right now, and with moves that we can make, we can bring in a big point guard. We can re-sign Mitchell Robinson. We can sign some of the guys that we have here, give them extensions this year before so this team could grow together. I like what I see from Memphis, even though they lost today. Tough game today too. They lost, and they had a chance to win. But their players on their team are 25 and younger, and they've been together for 2 years now. If we could build ourselves in that same projector of 2 or 3 more years with this same nucleus that we got right here, and leak out from a couple of guys that we really don't want to see or we really don't need anymore and stuff like that, so we can see the youth, we have a good chance of being a dominating team in the next year. Our draft capital is going to put us over the top. With 3 first-round picks, we can almost get anybody. 3 first-round picks, and anyone on our team should be able to get somebody of value. So we got we could give up 5 second-round picks and someone on the team, and we can get someone with value. So this is a big year that we have to look forward to. If we're going to stay packed, I'm not opposed to keeping IQ as being this point guard for the next 2 years. I'm not opposed to that.
Real quick, hey, KJ, let me bring this point out, and I'll do that. Here go be the determinant factor of the way the Knicks go. This is going to be Leon Rose and Scott Perry. Here goes Scott Perry way. 19 Com man put it out there. Here go the lineup 19 Com put out there. Now I'm going to tie all this in. This is Scott Perry. That's what Scott Perry want to do. Leon Rose might want the Brunsons, the Donovan Mitchells. You understand what I'm saying? He probably want to, even though he said he want to take his time and go through that maturation, hope that he's speaking the honest truth. But I do think Scott Perry would be the one who want that lineup like 19 Com put there. Because he's all about the development. When he was in Detroit, he put all of them guys who wasn't started, let them grow together, and they wind up playing like this. I mean, I think that's the Scott Perry way. I don't know if the Leon Rose and Worldwide West way might be the other way. I mean, is it going to be about let's go get Brunson, keep Julius Randle, keep Evan Fournier, and fight for the playoffs? You know what I mean? So I think KJ, you got it depends on what the president of basketball operations and the general manager want to do. We know our general manager. He like young talent. He's been bringing it. He brought in Mitchell Robinson. He brought in Quickley. He brought in Obi. He brought in Grimes. He brought in all these dudes. That's Scott Perry. What do Leon Rose and Worldwide West and Tibbs want to do? So it's going to be a tale of two sides. You know what I mean? See how this thing pan out. You ask me.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing on the board this year. Because if we put both their career earnings, we put IQ and Jalen Brunson's career earnings up there right now, and you guys can check this. Jalen Brunson has almost a similar contract to Mitchell Robinson. The guy's been getting paid peanuts. His career earnings for 4 years is a little bit above $6 million. IQ in 2 years is a little bit above $4 million, right? Now we check their stats; they good. Jalen Brunson got his first 2 technical fouls this year. Hey, IQ got only 1 technical foul since last year in the Miami game, right? So they got similar personalities, right? Jalen Brunson is about 2 years old. He drafted 2 years. I think Jalen Brunson was drafted 2018. IQ got drafted in 2020, right? So we put both of those guys up there, right? And we figure, okay, we know Jalen Brunson is going to want the bag like Mitchell Robinson, but we got IQ. We got to re up IQ too. In 2024, what do the New York Knicks do right now? Jalen Brunson wants the money. He's been getting paid peanuts the past couple of years. His stock is very high because of what he's doing in the playoffs this year. Now, to your point, Divine, which way do we go? Which way do you want to go, Divine and Sha? Do you guys want to build the young team up, or do you want to bring in a person as a long-suffering Knick fan, like all of us in this chat up here? What direction do we really want to go? Because again, if we go one way, we cannot get up here and say, "Oh man, I wish we would have got this person." We can't say that. Knicks fans, we got to pick one direction, including myself. Pick one direction and just stick with it and say, "You know what? I got to deal with it." So up here, which direction do you guys want to go?
You know what? For me, I start off. I like the youth movement because I do think we got some good youth talent here, and I still think that you can bring in players behind them that'll still make them fight for the playoff or the play-in and that. I don't think we listen. I just wanted to keep that young talent we have. You know, bring in, get rid of some of the more expensive contracts. Bring in some players that's gonna fit the timeline. Because think about this here. No matter if you go get Brunson, no matter if you get Donovan Mitchell, are you beating Giannis Antetokounmpo this year? Or are you beating Joel Embiid this year? So if you go out there and spend all that money, are you going to spend that money just to get to the second round when you might as well wait a couple of years to RJ and Cam and Quickley and Obi and them get a couple of more years season and then put somebody with them and pop then? Or are you going to go out there and think that Julius Randle, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Fournier, or whatever, I don't know who's going to be here, you think they're going to get you over the creme de la creme in the East? Then if you ask me, I don't think so. So I would rather go kind of youth movement, let these guys develop a couple of years, and then in a couple of years, you can go ahead and make that decision. Because by then they'd be done kind of got a little bit more NBA ready. So I do want to mix and match it, but I want to make sure that it's mix and match the right way. In other words, if you got the young team, you don't need no 30-year-old guys making $14 million. I'd rather have a 37-year-old guy making $2 million.
Right.
That they can mentor these guys. You know what I mean? Mentor them. Like Todd Gibson is a prime example to me. $5 million. You get that he's serviceable, but he also, you can't underestimate what the $5 million they pay him does for them young boys. Mitchell Robinson is better because of when they brought in Todd Gibson here. When they first brought Todd Gibson here, Richard Robinson had somebody to mentor him. Todd Gibson been in New York 3 years now. You know, so when they brought Todd Gibson in here, you notice Mitch wasn't fouling that much more. He was starting to do other things because he had somebody who could teach him the game of basketball instead of bringing in a $15 million, $16 million guy who want playing time. So that's my thing, Shaw Powell. It's like bringing somebody who's not looking to take these young boys minutes. Right. Bringing somebody who can mentor these guys. But if we do need them to go in there and play, they can go in and play. And then I still think with the talent, I think that they've got some good talent there. I just think that because of the way the team's constructed, it's hard. So I'm leaning with the youth thing, but I understand if the Knicks say no, we're gonna bring in this guy. We think we can make the playoffs. I get it, but I like the young talent we got though, Shaw Powell. I think it's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm me personally. I'm with. I would rather us, as we all talk about, build with what we have now instead of going out to acquire someone this year. Not too many players out there on the free agent perspective. There's not too many out there right now. And if we're going to look to make a trade with someone, it's going to be something significant that we're going to have to give up. We're going to probably lose some of our young guys to bring in one of these guys that may be a little older to kind of bolster the team. I'm okay this next year if we bring back the biggest thing for this year is who we shop to make to shop to make cap space? Are we really going to look at moving Burks? Are we really going to look to move Evan Fournier? Are we really going to look to move Noel? Are we really going to go look to move Kemba? Are we really going to go look to move Rose? And also, is Randall going to be here next year? Though that is the question for what we have in store for us right now, because if we can move some of those guys, then we will have a different team next year.
Yeah.
You know, if we can move on from uh definitely Kemba, if we can move on from Noel, depending, and this is all depending on if we sign Mitch. But the team that I would like to see to come out next year, and if we move the guys that I just mentioned, the Burks, the Evan Fournier, the Randall, the Noel, the Kemba, the Rose, we can have fill the two spots that we brung in this year, the Evan Fournier and the Kemba and the Kemba with Brunson. If we really want Brunson that bad, we could go out and get Brunson, and we could get another shooting slash small forward. And I know a lot of people are going to kill me because I said this in the last last chat that we had. Haywood. And I know people don't want to hear Haywood. He has a bad. He's been injury prone, and he's been hurt a lot last year and stuff like that. But a healthy Haywood is, to me, is a better than a healthy Fournier. You know, he can grab rebounds. He's about 5-6 rebounds a game. He's about 5-6 assists a game, and he can score about 14 to 16 points. And he is aggressive. You know, his mid-range game is really good, and I think him and Brunson would help elevate the game, because I believe it could be Brunson, RJ, Haywood, Obi, and Mitch. I think that could be our starting. And that's not a bad team going out next year with a couple of guys that's been here, and Obi, uh, Obi, Obi and RJ with Mitchell Robinson. I think putting those guys on the court and adding on Brunson and Haywood could really elevate the game. And then you look at the second unit, it would be IQ, Grimes, Reddish, and this is another name that I bring out there. Excuse me, Melo and Sims. Camelo come back to New York for 1 year. And you know, these two guys, what Haywood and Melo would do for these young guys right now, they could teach them how to use the foul line down perimeter game. These guys are been in the league for a while. They've been very good shooters in both of their careers. And with the young crew for Obi and for RJ, Haywood, and Melo will help these guys out tremendously, you know. And then with those being said, we will also keep Taj, Deuce, our 2 first rounders, and I think Holmes is still on our contract as well. The guy that came out, Holmes, the 6'8" guy, you know, Hunt. I mean Hunt. Well, I always say Holmes and Hunt. I think he's still on our contract too for another year. So we will have them as our, third team right there. We will keep our 2 first-round picks this year. I mean, our first round and our second-round pick. So this is something that the Knicks front office has to think about, because what we saying right now means almost nothing. What the front office, what they do is going to make the decision. And for me, if we can move on from Burks, which is a good contract, we can move on for. I found the space to put Evan Fournier. Randall has two or three options. If he wants to really be traded, he could go. I mean, if we can move him, we can get him. Noel, Kemba, and Rose got destinations for them as well, to release them off our contract, get back more trade capital, and not taking back players, but taking back second rounders, first rounders, and so on and so forth, to build up, to build this thing up. So when 2025 gets here, that season when Donovan Mitchell was a free agent, when Cat is a free agent, and all these big name guys are free agents.
That's when we wind up getting them.
That's when we need to go out to go look to try to get them, when we can come and negotiate a contract instead of going out there and paying $150 billion for, I'm throwing that number out there crazily, but to try to get someone in here now when we don't have no money for them, something to think about.
Yeah. So you pretty much on the same thing with the youth movement and just
Yeah, let's go with that youth movement,
Yeah.
man. With the guys that I just mentioned, aside from Haywood and Taj and Mello, we're running with all young guys, man. All guys that's under 25 years old.
Right. You know what, Devon and Shot, it's like we've been doing this for so long as far as contract, getting guys, and then by the time the contract end, it's like we got a whole different Nick team, and like
Facts.
we could have had these players years
Facts.
ago. So it's like we gotta break the chain somehow, right? We look at a team like Memphis Grizzlies, kept all their draft picks, kept the guys. Now they have a team, and they took out players, plug players. So I'm with the youth movement. But I am also saying, like, you know what, it's a business with this too. If there's someone out there that we can get, like, let's say, you know what, we want to get, there's one player right now in the New York Knicks that we don't need, and that's Evan Fournier. And y'all know I like Evan Fournier. But with the way this team plays, we got Quentin Grimes. You can bring him up.
Facts.
Give him his contract. And, hey, I'm with Keith. We may keep Julius Randle. As long as Thibodeau's here and other guys here, he likes New York City, we may keep him here. Because then, to Devon, and shout to your point, we may be able to move Obi Toppin to the 3. Now, it just opens more time players on the court. It opens up. Now we got that money that we could bank on for someone else. And you trade him with a Kemba Walker and an Evan Fournier in a first-round pick, depending on the pick that we get in the draft this year. So my thing is, we can do it, but we as a fan base, we got to say, look, we got to roll with the punches. And I know it's very hard for us as New York Knicks fans to say, man, we got to wait. We've been waiting for so long, and it gets annoying. And we see these other teams, you're like, man, we're looking at Boston right now in the playoffs. We're like, man, that could be us right there. Because they was in the same, we started the season 5-1. And I'm like, my thing is we matched up well with Boston Celtics, but guess what? It didn't happen for us. So we can't cry over spoiled milk. We understand that. But to the point, Devon, and I want to stick to the script, I wouldn't mind a youth movement right now. Because my thing is, I don't want to go into another season where we bring in a guy like Brunson, we bring in these other guys, right? And I'm rooting for Russell Westbrook because of the money thing, but that's here nor there. But I don't want to go into another season and we keep ramping them up. We play these guys, and then we get nowhere, and then it's like, all right, well, we got to do the same thing over there. Pick one direction, at least we know we're going with that, and let it be what it's going to be.
Yeah. And even the thing with the youth movement, excuse me, I mean to take this thing off so fast. Randall still could be part of the youth movement. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I mean. You don't have to trade Randall to let the youth movement keep going. Randall is a good ball player. You know what I mean? But like I said, to me, is we got to get the Fournier out of here. We got to get somebody. We need somebody to free up time for Obi Toppin, because I just think that the way he playing, him and IMMANUEL QUICKLEY with that pace up and down the court, which we've been dying for all year long. Shy Power's been saying it all year. Them cats bring pace to this team. We cannot be the same old Knicks in a half-court offense, which in the playoffs is fine. That's what they do. They get in the half court, they lock you down, they defend and blah, blah, blah. But in the course of the season, we got to find a way to get easy points. And that's why, the player number 68 was IMMANUEL QUICKLEY, because that guy gives us the easy point type of game. He's young. So even if you keep Julius Randle, you got the Grimes, you got Cam Reddish, you got Obi Toppin, Jericho Sims. If you bring Mitch back, I think Mitch put like this here. If you got Mitch, if you bring Julius Randle back, if you have to bring Julius Randle back, and if you can bring Mitch back, I would literally just throw Obi Toppin at the 3. I think he give us better production than Fournier would. Move RJ back at the 2 and get a point guard, whether it's Quickley or you go get one. But I do think if you bring Randle back and you bring Mitch back, then okay, I'm good with Brunson. But if you're not going to bring, Julius Randle back then, because you're not going to bring that money and not go to the playoffs. If you bring Julius Randle back to New York Knicks, we got to make the playoffs. Now, we ain't going to be no rebuild with no Julius Randle now. If we bringing back that contract, we got to be fighting for the playoffs with a talent like that. Julius Randle's not a type of talent to be in a rebuild. We ain't rebuilding nothing with Julius Randle. If Julius Randle's still in New York making $26 million, I got a feeling they're going to bring in players to play with him along with RJ and try to get a youth minutes when they can and go to the playoffs. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why I said you got to go to you either going to go to Leon Rose way, Shaw Powers, the Leon Rose way, or they're going to go the Scott Perry way. The Scott Perry way is the youth movement, the rebuild. He's been doing this since he's been here, I think. And I think the other way is going to be the Worldwide West. I'm like, nah, they ain't go to that Dallas game for nothing. You know what I mean? They wasn't sitting there. Him and Julius Randle wasn't sitting in Dallas the first game of the playoff for nothing. So that's telling me that part of the conglomerate in the front office might be thinking about trying to get this team to go deep. But I think the other side might be willing, like, to try to keep the cap flexibility and go young. So they got either way it go, they got a dilemma. But I got a feeling Julius Randle going to be back. I think they're gonna try to improve this team. That's not what I want, but I think that's what they're gonna do. And I'm good either way. You know, as long as they go out there and play hard New York Knicks basketball and get it popping, it don't matter, you know, which way they go, youth or they go the other way. But I think they're gonna I agree, man. And that's my whole dilemma is like we gotta stay the course with these young guys. We got a good group of young guys down there, man. Whether you think how talented they are or not, we got some good young energy down there. And I think you got to give you a chance to grow and keep moving. I like that as well. So, I have no problem with that. Shaw Powell moving D Rose and Fournier.
I'll say it. I said it once and I say it again. If we looking to bring another point guard into the fold, D Rose will not be here next year. D Rose will be moved, and D Rose, they have a place for D Rose to go right back to Chicago. You know, they have cap money. They have about 20, I forgot the number. I think it was like 21, $23 million in cap room. They could easily slide us a second round or 2 second rounds for D Rose and take D Rose back and let him finish his career in at Chicago. If we're looking to we have to look to move off of some of these contracts, man. Fournier is a good suitor for a Utah right now. You know, Fournier could fit in Utah real good. All this thing is on the premise of how we move him and what we get back, because there's also moves for if we want to get Brunson. I know they're talking about they're not going to do a sign and trade right now. They keep saying they're not going to do a sign and trade, and this guy may want the money and stuff like that. But there's moves for Julius to go to Dallas as well. You know, there's moves that for Brunson we could get and this is the thing, we get players in and we still could trade these players back off, or how we get them. The move for Brunson, Hardaway, Powell, and Green, and we will give up Randall, Noel, and Kemba Walker, and a second round pick. We could move him easily to Dallas, get Hardaway, Powell, and trade those guys too. You know, if we want to keep one of those guys or trade Hardaway in another trade, you know, we can make. It's so many things that's out there right now. It all depends on what the front office is looking to do with this team right now. Are we going to move on from Fournier? Fournier, they got a trade for Fournier. They got trades for Randall. They got trade for Kemba. Kemba Burks and Noel name comes up in so many trades that we can move on from to bring in players. We can move those 3 players to Charlotte, to the Hornets. We can move those 3 players to the Hornets, give them a little cap relief, because a majority of these 2 guys come off of their contracts next year, and we could bring over that Hayward trade that I keep talking about. You know, Hayward has 2 years on his contract. He would play this year, and he would be eligible to be traded 24-25 season 2. So he has 2 more years on his contract. But if we were looking to move off of those guys, we could move off of that $30 million and bring Hayward here, relinquishing 2 spots off our roster to give more time to the Cam Reddishes and Grimes. You know, it's a whole lot of things that can happen this year, man. And if we're talking about moving on to go get Donovan Mitchell, we could get Donovan Mitchell But the moves with Donovan Mitchell is a little tricky because he's already making 160, like $170 million. But if we give up Randall, Cam Reddish, this is going to be one of those hurtful things. If we looking to go get Donovan Mitchell, we can give up Reddish, Randall, Grimes, and D Rose, and we could get Mitch. We could get Mitchell over here. That's another one of those trades that be. It's so many things that is going to be popping this off season, man. And our first round picks that we have and our second round picks right now is where our money is at. It's not in cap space, but it's in draft picks. So the biggest thing that we have to really look into is seeing what we want to deplenish off our draft picks and try to move some of these players to give us a little bit of cap space, to give us a little bit more flexibility to make some of these bigger moves.
Yeah, yeah. And Soulfinger, that he put up a point there, and I thought moving Evan Fournier there is the right thing to do. And I think I know I said that a couple of streams ago that I'm gonna tell you, he go a perfect, not a perfect, but a good trade. Evan Fournier to the Lakers for THT and whatever. You know what I mean? You get a youth, you get a young dude, energy, athleticism, can play. You get out of Fournier's contract. He just signed a $13 million deal. So I'm not sure how long his is, but it's not nothing like Fournier, I don't think. So he fits the timeline. He's young. He that's another dude that you could bring here. I seen one day on like NBA analytics. Some was Evan Fournier for Caris LeVert.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Even swap Evan Fournier to Chicago, to Cleveland, and the Knicks get to Caris LeVert. Yeah. So they, I think whatever they do, they're gonna, after looking at the playoffs this year, and I'm like the games I watched today. Them boys got their big boy pants on, man. I'm telling you, Milwaukee Bucks and the Celtics and all these guys. I'm like, we're gonna get there. It's gonna be a minute. Yeah. THC got a 3-year, $30 million. That's a good deal. $10 million, right. So you can kind of you might have to bring that Kendrick Nunn in the deal. Let's say you do Kendrick Nunn and THT for Evan Fournier. You know what I mean? Kevin only had $5 million on this deal, so they know them things will be off the books kind of anyway. So you can make the deal work. You know what I mean? So, but I do think that it's gonna be interesting to see which way to go this year. Depending with Leon Rose, how Scott Perry, and how Tibbs are gonna do. I think either way it go, we're gonna be good. I like where we at. I do like we got a nice bunch of talent down here, young guys. But we do got to find out: are we gonna go for this? Get to the second round, get in the playoff, make a noise type thing, or we just gonna say, listen, let's take it step by step, and if we make the play in, then it's accomplishment with these young guys. Or we're gonna say we're gonna get and bring in somebody like I said, Brunson or whoever to play with Julius Randle, RJ, and Fournier, and you don't even know if you're gonna bring Mitch back. That ain't even a guarantee. So are we gonna keep Noel? We lose Mitch, are we gonna just keep Noel because he got that $10 million spire and let him start center? Yeah. It's going to be a lot of decisions made, KJ, and I just wonder how the Knicks going to pull this thing off.
Let me tell you something. Noel owe us, man. He owe us. So, heck yeah, man. If we can find a way to keep him, and again, it could be one of them things because guys and ladies and gentlemen that are watching this chat right now, we played a lot of these games without D Rose, and I know you have been hearing it over and over again.
That is true.
And we was 37-42. We were off, but I mean, foul shots and missed players. Let me tell you, this New York Knicks team probably would have been a top 6 team, a top 7 team, maybe, if those guys was healthy and we made a little bit more free throws. So, I mean, how far are we off? And I'm pretty sure everything that we put on the board tonight that we said, and everything that you guys and ladies are putting out there in the chat, I'm pretty sure the Knicks have this on their board too. There's no way they're not listening to us. Yep. There's no way they can't hear our calls, and they see the same things we seen it in a different microscope that they seen it. So maybe, just maybe, they do run everything back with maybe 1 or 2 more moves, shed a contract like Evan Fournier, and keep these players here because again, we want to see more of a Grimes. We want to see more of an Obi Toppin, and we damn sure want to see some more of IQ play. So. Again, and we still got McBride right there. So it's like, you know what? I like the youth movement, but subtract someone or 2 people. and those two people are Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker. And I'm not even bringing up Julius Randle because right now I don't want to have to get rid of all those people for one person. You know, you feel what I'm saying? Like a guy like Donovan Mitchell. I like his game. Donovan Mitchell's 31 years old right now. He just got bounced again in the playoffs.
You're not 31.
Right?
25.
years old.
Oh, Donovan Mitchell 25? Okay, I'm sorry
25.
about that. I'm wrong on that. But still, again, that money right now, I mean, if there's something out there for him, then yeah, let's take him. But I just don't want to spend all that money on one person when we got 3-4 people that can contribute to a team. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just, that's where I'm at right now. And if it works, it works. If they get a Donovan Mitchell or a Damian Lillard, I'm thinking about Damian Lillard. That's why I said 31. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Of course, I think Donovan Mitchell right now, but I mean, I just don't know where I'm going with guys with it.
Yeah, D cool. I think he'll be the backup. I'm hoping. Hey, Jarvis, that I was thinking about that earlier. Depends on I was like, who I'm wondering if they're gonna, see who get like a coach who might got fired this year. You know what I mean? Somebody who might got let go. Obviously, Frank Vogel, no people like that. But I think you might get a coach that might got relief from a team. He's not going to be a head coach, but he's willing to be assistant. They move him in that position. But I know because I know they're going to have to elevate somebody. Who knows what's going to happen with Johnny Bryan? Let's say Johnny Bryan get an offer for somebody. You know what I mean? You never know.
That's out there too.
Yeah. And so to fill Kenny Payne's spot is either going to be a promotion from within, or it all depends how things go with these other coaches. Let's say it's Quinn Snyder takes a job somewhere and somebody moves into Quinn Snyder's spot, or if whoever takes Sacramento job, they might got somebody on their team that might not be longer there with their coaching staff. Because once you get rid of the head coach, 9 out of 10, the coaching staff going with them. That's a good question, Jarvis. I don't know who they would be out there, but I think I think you might find out once the carousel this summer start dealing with coaches. We know Frank Vogel's going to be out. We don't know what's going to happen with Steve Nash yet. If Steve Nash were to get fired, let him come play with his grandson and be assistant coach with the Knicks. I got no problem with that.
Yeah,
I really don't. Steve Nash, despite what you may think he can coach, but when you got Kyrie Irving and Manning, you got to do too much damn coaching. They're gonna be more the accolade, get more the accolade because the team won. But I don't know. That's a good question, Jarvis. I'm not sure. But right now, whether it be a promotion from within, or are they gonna wait till the coaching carousel before the season starts? Anybody get fired? And when all these changes come, then you might catch somebody out there who Tibbs might like or the front office might like. But that remains to be seen, to be honest with you. But yeah, man, it's a lot of good possibilities in New York City right now, guys, ladies and gents. Salute to the chat, man. Y'all been on fire all night. Salute, Soul Finger, the streets above the sea team. My brother, salute to you. Appreciate it. Jarvis, D Cool, Cash Out, everybody. Y'all got to pop it, man. Thank y'all so much, man. Real talk. But no matter which way we go, I'm gonna be good. And we can't. Soul Finger, I'm glad you brought that up because I was about to say that we cannot forget about Cam Reddish. That's why this thing is so intriguing to me. RJ, Cam, Obi. I mean, all these guys, they got a chance to have a off season to get themselves better. I mean, they got a chance to go out there and get better and show and prove that they want to get something popping for the Knicks, man. So let's see how this thing playing out, and then we'll see. But I'm looking
big man coach Taj Gibson. Just saying, if you want to put him on the bench,
you go put him on the bench for that $5 million. Fact. Mm-hmm. Yeah, real talk, man. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting what's going on in New York. We got some good things. Know what else interesting to me? I wish them cats could be head coaches right there. D Cool, them two cats could be head coaches. You know what I mean? So that's interesting. But you know what? Let's say we keep a lot of these guys to the trading deadline. And I don't know. Let's say we go back into the season with the same roster, but we know Alex Burks, Kemba Walker. I ain't no way to worry about Kemba back. But I think him, Noel, Derrick Rose, and them, they at least at the trading deadline as well. You can ship them cats out too. So I don't know if they might come in the training camp with them, but then we see how the season goes. They say, you know what? Now we had a trading deadline. Boom, we got some takers for these aspirants. Maybe we can pull a trigger on somebody and that'll benefit us, man. Peace to the God. Peace to Allah. Peace. That'll elevate our team even more, because now we get to really make some deals, because you're gonna get to the trading deadline, and team that's gonna be on the phone will be looking for some talent. So they might, I might be willing to. Here's the thing, I think you might be getting more picks at the trading deadline than now. You know what I mean? Now the trading deadline, people might be willing to give up a first just to do it, a first in the 2 seconds or blah blah blah, because they need these players that bad. They need the players that bad to help they get to where they need to go in the play. Like Alex Burks can help a playoff team. Excuse me, Soulfinger said, Evan Fournier can help a contender. He can shoot the ball that good. You know what I mean? And he could fill a void for somebody for a couple of years. And his next year after that, he can be aspiring. So they might be willing to sacrifice that. Like I said, with the LeBron James and Russell Westbrook and them cats need shooters, right? So if you put an Evan Fournier with LeBron James and Russell Westbrook, good as they know how to get the ball to you, because they facilitators. Evan Fournier in the corner for the Lakers with Anthony Davis, LeBron James, that might be a perfect. He'd be like a Bogdanovich or one of them guys. You know what I mean? Just that 3-point. It's just that we not ready for that. That's the only reason I think he need to go to somebody where that fits his primary role. When you got Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James, you're not really worried about his defense that much, because he being covered by some perennial dudes, but also he'd be the best shooter out there. You know what I mean? He'd be the best shooter out there in that starting lineup. And I think that, teams like that, and like I said, Cleveland, I don't have a problem with Cavs LeVert, but he would help Cleveland with Evan Mobley and all them big guys. Fournier would stretch the floor for them. You know what I mean? So he's a guy that we definitely can get out of here, man, and bring to a contender, and don't take back no long-term contracts, or somebody who we get him and don't even play him, just release him, so he don't take up a roster spot. But we did get them contracts. It's gonna be interesting on KJ and Shot Powers. What the Knicks gonna do? How they gonna go about it? They're gonna try to get these young guys some chance to. These young guys could make a big difference in the year, and I think they can get to the playoffs with some of these guys. Maybe you keep Julius Randle if you have to. RJ going to take another next step. Quickly and Obi going to take another step. They're going to get better this year. That's you can foresee that. Like they're going to go in the gym, put the work in, get better, be better NBA basketball players. You can guarantee you book it. Deuce McBride, I seen the tweet he put out. He said the season went just how he wanted it to go. See, that's telling you. You know what I mean? Like, watch when y'all see me next year.
Yeah.
Watch when Grimes don't have to sit out for the knee problem next year. Cat's gonna be getting it, man. So I'm excited, KJ, about the way this thing gonna go. We just gotta hope that they keep working hard, going to the draft, going to the lottery, get the right pick. You're gonna keep the pick, get the right guy. Who never know? Hey, Shot Powers, okay, we might that pick might jump up and be the 4th, 5th pick. You never know. Zion Winston got picked by the team who were the 14th odds to getting him.
That's the crazy part. We should got number 1 that year. We supposed to get number 1 that year.
Right. So anything is possible. I mean, like this cat literally, New Orleans Pelicans jumped from the 14th position all the way to number 1 to get Zion Williamson. So,
but don't forget, guys, that was the year the NBA changed something with the lottery. With them draft was I'll never forget that happened. I'm like, of course they're going to change the year they're supposed to get number 1. But you know what? What I want to talk about also before we get out of here, the names you just mentioned, McBride, Grimes, and Sims. Those 3 guys alone are rookies this year. Look how much better they will be next year, along with the Cam Reddish. And we haven't got a chance to see that. We want to see a Cam Reddish along with those other guys. So again, it's going to go 2 or 3 ways here. We have to go on youth movement. We have to go on trade big and get everybody out of here with the big contracts like Julius Randle and Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker, get them out of here. Or we're going to stick to the course and maybe get 1 or 2 pieces out of here to bring maybe another piece in. So Quentin Grimes, McBride, and Sims and Cam Reddish can play more along with Obi Toppin. That's what we got to think about, guys. And to me, it has to be a business decision. It has to be business decision being made. So, I mean, I'm all for it because we got a lot of options we can go with here. More options than we had in the past. And that's where I'm at, guys. I'm good either or. But again, which way do I think they're going to go? I think they're going to get rid of a big fish, a Julius Randle, or Evan Fournier. I think it's Evan Fournier, and keep some of the youth here and bring in a guy like a Russell Westbrook to shed that contract. So we need some money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, real talk. Salute to everybody, man. Salute to Freight Matos, my man Canal.
Salute.
Coming in, everybody. Salute to everybody. You know, it's going to be a really interesting. You know, like I said, obviously we talked about. Emmanuel Quickly player number 6 in the season review. You know, we talked about Emmanuel Quickly, his maturation, what he gonna do going forward for the New York Knicks going into next year. Is he gonna be one of them guys going to training camp, looking to try to maintain and try to take another step in his career and try to man down a more prominent role with the New York Knicks moving forward? Is he gonna be that guy that's gonna say, I'm fighting to be one of the major players on his team? Does Quentin Grimes, does he come and do the same thing? Does Cam Reddish say, I'm on a contract year, I got to prove something? If these guys be here, I don't know what you could mind up trading them. I don't know. Knicks might decide I'm going to trade everybody and go the other way. I don't know. But if they do, is Cam Reddish going to say, I'm in my contract year? I got to show him proof so I can get me some money. I want to get back.
I believe so.
You know what I mean? Right. Does all these guys come back another more hungrier? They already got the hunger, the passion, the energy. That's what I love about the young team. Because when they do play, they play with a lot of energy, a lot of passion, a lot. You know, that's what I love about the young core. You know, opposed to the other guys where they play, but they might not be as hungry as them guys because they already got their money. These young guys come into training camp. Obi Toppin takes another step. Emmanuel Quickly takes another step. McBride takes another step. RJ takes another step. All these guys take another step in their careers. If they do, I'm good with that because I do long think with a player here and there. If Randall's a part of that fold, hypothetically, if Randall's still a part of that fold, and you bring in somebody, long as you got that young infrastructure took another step, the Knicks would be a playoff team. They would have been if Derrick Rose wouldn't have went down. I cannot say it enough. If Derrick Rose and Nerlens Noel wouldn't have went down this year, the Knicks would have been in the play-in. I could book that. You could book that because this whole thing would have been different with Mitchell Robinson having a backup like Noel. You didn't have to take Alex Burks and do what you did with him. You know what I mean? You could have slid Alex Burks back to what he do. You could have had Derrick Rose in there giving you 13 or 14 a game. You know what I mean? So with a lot of things that I think that would have went the other way if it wasn't for injuries and obviously the Kemba Walker situation. That didn't matter to me because I don't feel like he was really here to me. So because when he first got, early in the season he got benched for a couple of, almost a while. So he wasn't really a part of the fold of me. He was like one of them guys who came in after the trading deadline, almost that type of player. We had him for a little bit, and then that was it. So I do think, moving forward, the Knicks brand got to think about something, how they're gonna do this thing, and going into Thursday, we do player number 7. I want to concentrate on guys who I think are gonna be it. So player number 7, I'm gonna do Quentin Grimes on Thursday. Player number 7 and player review for the season. Let's do Quentin Grimes. I think he got a lot to bring to the Knicks table. I think he got a lot. And matter of fact, what we'll do Quentin Grimes and Cam Reddish in the same segment. So what I do, I do Thursday when we do the player review. I'm going to bring 2 of them in one segment. I'm going to do Quentin Grimes and Cam Reddish. I think them 2 young guys. I think they could really be a part of this thing moving forward. And we combine both of them together. We do that segment. We get into that, talk about their season and what they did. We throw the highlights of them guys out there, and then we also talk about the other things we talk about as well. Because I do think the Knicks got an interesting dilemma going on around this thing going moving forward, man. Which way they're gonna go? They're gonna go this way. They're gonna go that way. They're gonna go big game hunting, or they're gonna wind up just saying, you know what, we're gonna take this draft pick we got. 19 Con made something instant earlier, traded the 11th for the 20th and 25, where they do something like that. Or they're gonna go and take that draft pick and bring them on the team, which is so hard with all this young talent we got now. That's what's so crazy, Scott Powell and KJ, because we got a lot of talent, and we don't get rid of no vets. With I don't know how they're gonna circumvent all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, in order to see these younger guys play, we're gonna have to move on from the Fourniers. We're gonna have to move on from the Burks, and we definitely, aside from those 2 guys, those 2 guys, like Soulfinger said, at least Fournier opens up the rotation for about three players. If we move on from Fournier, we see more of Reddish, and we'll see more of Grimes. If we move on from Burks, we'll see more of both of those guys that I just mentioned. That position right there, the small forward / shooting guard is the Fournier and the Burks. Those two guys alone is $30 million in almost in contract right there in cap space. Moving those two guys right there is almost $30 million in cap space, and it opens up the team for Grimes and Reddish to get some big time minutes in next season.
Yeah, real talk. Yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting, man. Salute to everybody. I appreciate y'all. Y'all already know how we get down, man. We're gonna keep doing this, man. Try to keep the Knick content in here. Talking with the fans, talking with the people, talking with our cousins in the chat, the visible panel, and all the wise heads up in there, man. Salute to everybody. And we just gotta take it one day at a time, one step at a time. You know, we got the draft coming up, obviously. Before you know it, man, it'll be here. The lottery be here. You know, I think we projected to go no lower than 11th. We can't go no lower than that anyway. I don't know if I'm not mistaken, the odds. So, you know, anything above that is a blessing. You know what I mean? If we get to the 8th, it's a blessing. We get to this.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, if we get to the 8th or higher, it's a blessing. You know what I mean? And if we down at the 11th, like I said, one thing I am happy about, guys, and I can't say this enough. As long as we got Walt Perrin as a scout, I don't care where the Knicks pick at.
Facts.
That's real talk right there. Long
Facts.
We got a guy like Walt Perrin who evaluates talent the way he do. Then nobody in this chat, I don't think, thought Donovan Mitchell going to be who he was coming out of Louisville. Walt Perrin did. He knew. You know what I mean? He got an eye for talent. So if I guarantee you, if we pick 11th, he's going to go get somebody that he know that's talented. You know what I mean? Because they do their homework. You know, they're not only the skill set on the court, they see their characteristics, what they do, how they get down. Walt Perrin is we good there, but you know, and but now then from there it shifts over to what Leon Rose. Everything starts right there. What Leon Rose want to do, what him and Scott Perry gonna get together, and much as we talk about Wild Wild West, it's really Scott Perry and Leon Rose. Them the two cats that really is the president of basketball operations and the GM. Them two guys right there, them the guys really decide the direction. Yeah, man. So we'll see, man. We'll see how it go. Great show, fellas. I appreciate y'all getting in, man. As always, you know, I know how we do. And to the chat, man, thank y'all so much. We're gonna let the brother get some last words, and we're gonna get up out of here. And then we'll see y'all Thursday, man. We're gonna get up out with. I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm really looking forward to Grimes and
Cam Reddish.
I'm looking forward to that. So I'm gonna make sure I get the good footage out there, get all the stats, break it down like we did today, and them two guys I think could be really a good part of this thing, man, moving forward, man. So we know, like I said, he in the contract year, Grimes only in his second year, and I think if them two dudes went down, I think we might have itched out that play-in. Yeah, I think they wouldn't have went down with the itched in that play-in. So we had to see how that thing goes forward, man. But KJ, man, talk to me, brother, man, and let me know what's up.
Divine, as always, thanks for allowing me to come on the platform, share my thoughts with the Knicks Real Talk family, along with my brother Shy over there. Hey, man, listen, we here. We're going to be here leading up to the new season, leading up to Summer League, preseason, the off season, whatever you name it, the lottery, the draft, free agency, we here. But also, I want to throw in, the best team in baseball is the New York Yankees at 16-6.
Just saying.
I had to throw that in there, Frank Matos. You know, I know Divine's a Met fan, but
just saying.
The best team in the whole MLB right now is the New York Yankees.
You see y'all at the Subway Series.
Anyway, I had to throw that in there. Shout out to my New York Giants. We all around Nick. I had to throw that in there real quick. Yeah, you know, I know you Met fans, but 16-6. I'm out.
Hey, Frank Matos, you know they about to get a penny on the show for that, right? You know we about to get a penalty for that, right? Orange and blue. But the Yankees on fire, though. They playing good. It feels good to see the New York sports playing like this. And the New York Giants, the 5th or the 7th pick was.
Yeah, they got some good picks.
What? Man, listen, I cannot wait to see that front four with Dexter Lawrence, Williams, Aziri, and Thibodeau on the corner.
Oh, my goodness. You're talking now.
Banging, bro. Real talk. But,
talking now.
It's gonna be fun, man. Jets had an awesome draft as well.
They did too.
They had a good draft as well, man. So we gotta feel good about what these New York teams are doing, man. The baseball is popping. You know, football gonna be popping. Knicks gonna be back popping. We're gonna be in the fold next year, no matter what. Atlanta did well. I know, Jarvis, man. Y'all got that ring, so I ain't mad at you, brother. But you know, I did Mets and Atlanta Braves fans get down. You know, so
Yeah.
but as long as we got that Nick love, that's more important than anything. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a fun year all around, man. And let's get into this Cam Reddish and grind next week, Thursday, man. Y'all cats get up in here, bring your thoughts with you. And y'all keep us involved, man. Y'all like and subscribe to the channel. I mean, and we'll get this thing to where we need to get it to. But in the meantime, we're gonna start bringing our ones who love us and they're here with us all the time. We're gonna keep bringing this content to you, man, because that's what it's about. It's about the realness of Knicks Real Talk, the chat, the family. Just trying to grow and have fun and talk Knicks, man. We are beloved Knicks fans up in here, all of us. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep it popping, real talk.
Salute to you, Divine. Salute to you, KJ. Nice hoodie there, KJ. I like that hoodie you got on right there. And salute to the chat. Let's get it.
Yeah. Everybody in the chat: Frank Montos, Jarvis, D Cool, Wills, my man Will the Thrill, Soul Finger number 12. You already know. Everybody, man, let's get it popping. Thank y'all always, each and every day. Canal, my brother, salute. Streets of Buzzer, CT, my brother, salute to you as well.
Word up.
Allah wide, peace to the God. You already know. Everybody, man. Cash out, James, my man, in here all time. 19 calm, man. Great, 19, good chat today, man. Real talk. You was dropping it. That was some good stuff up in there tonight, man. And Keith Turner, as always. Thank you, Keith, for coming
always.
In, my brother. AJW, salute to you. Thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate you coming, be a part of the family. Don't make it one time, make it all the time. Y'all already know. Let's do it, man. And we're gonna get up out of here, man. But real talk, man. Y'all guys have a great week. Be safe. Go out there and your grind. Go ahead and get your capital up, man, and all that good stuff, man. And just be careful out there and handle your business, man. I know inflation is rocking the nation, but we'll be all right, though. We'll be all right. You know what I mean? It's for cause, not because. It is what it is. But yeah, man, let's salute everybody. Once again, Knicks Real Talk, Robert Warren, salute to you, the chat. Everybody, we will see you cats Thursday, 9 p.m. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Let's say it. Real talk. Yes, sir. Here we go. Let's go.
Like